Welcome back. CP Trades here back with another daily recap for you guys today. Today we're gonna go over the charts, look what may have presented itself today, and make some assumptions for the coming days. Yeah, let's get straight into it. Yeah, coming into the day, I had a pretty loose bias because, as you guys may remember, I mentioned on Sunday, I mentioned on the weekly outlook video that I want to see a inverse fair value gap of this major for our FVJ here. And after that, I wanted to see a run on this liquidity right here, and ultimately new all-time highs. But as you guys may have seen, that we have gotten a pretty close call here. We almost took this liquidity out, but I mean, it was about 4 points away here. And after that, we just dumped inverse this important fair value gap right here. And ever since, we just continue to dump coming into the day. So my idea was then that this may have become engineered liquidity for later on to get run. And yeah, but we needed some structure for this to become our drawn liquidity. And coming to the day, we had both bullish and bearish narrative. I mean, the 4-hour structure was pretty bearish because we dumped a lot in the overnight session, but we also were in a bullish daily fair value gap here. So 4 hours bearish, daily fair value gap, daily time frame was technically bullish because we still had this daily fair value gap right here. So that was a big red flag for me to maybe sit this session out. And also we had a big overnight dump here above more than 600 points, almost 700 points. And as you guys know, if there's a big dump in the overnight session, we can expect bad PA in the New York AM session. So that was another reason for me to skip this session and this day in general. And yeah, this pretty much saved my ass today here, because there was a trade for me that I have noticed later on in my charting session in the evening. So I will get over this trade and how not trading today saved me from a possible losing day. Yeah, so I did not trade today because we had both bullish and bearish narrative, and also we had a big overnight dump, so I faded today. But I noticed there was a pretty nice trade set up here, because we had in the AM session we had this beautiful hourly FVJ here, and also relative equal highs in the 15-minute time frame here. So which overlaps with the bearish with the bearish hourly FVJ, and then 15-minute FVJ as well. Also, what's pretty important is that these FVJs here were untapped, so we haven't rebalanced to those, so that makes these areas here more probable. So these areas are really high probable. They have a high run rate, high probability to get visited. So there was a potential long setup here. So let's summarize, we got untapped 50-minute and hourly FVJ here. We get relative equal highs here as well, which overlaps with these imbalances. So my idea, no, it was not my idea, but it would have been my idea if I would have looked at the charts to get a tap of this pretty nice displacement candle, which formed a significant bullish 50-minute FVJ here. And after the tap, I would have liked to see some form of confirmation to the upside. And that's exactly what happened here. So, bam, we get a tap here. And almost immediately after, we get a nice displacement candle, V-shaped recovery, which inverts this marked bearish FVJs. So there was your entry, bang, you got a pretty decent risk to reward here, but then bang, immediately you would have gotten stopped out. That's why I fade these kind of low probability conditions. I mean, this setup would have worked, I would say, at least 7 out of 10 times, but today it didn't because of these bad conditions we have already foreseen in the pre-market analysis. And yeah, that's pretty much how fading today saved me from a losing day. And yeah, that's a trade I saw for today. And let's go over the new structure we got after the daily candle close and how this will impact the coming PA in the coming days. Yeah, as we see, we really got the inverse of this daily FVJ here. So that's a pretty bearish sign. And that also confirms that these highs here are generated liquidity. So these are protected as long as bearishness is completed. And when is the bearishness completed? In my opinion, after taking out these relative equal lows here. Sorry guys, I'm a bit sick today, so there are some little mistakes here and there. So yeah, these highs should be protected until these relative equal lows are taken out. What we get after that, I don't know, but I could imagine something like this. Your all-time highs after getting this one. But yeah, we have to wait a lot for this narrative to confirm itself. So yeah, and also what I wanna say, so let's summarize. I'm bearish right now because we inverted this important bullish FVJ here, and these generated highs are engineered liquidity for me, so these should be protected for now and should get run later on. So it's just setting up the last liquidity run to the upside for later. So I'm bearish, but if we should get a inverse of these important for our FVJs here. So if we get something like this, then I might be bullish again and just don't see the bearish narrative anymore. So as long as these stacked, bearish for our FVJs, which caused this dump. Don't get inverted. I'm bearish with these relative equal lows as buy neutral liquidity. Right now my focus lays more on internal liquidity like this one here, these relative equal lows here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's everything I see right now. So I'm bearish until we see some form of inversion here, and until we get these sell-side liquidity out of the market. Yeah, that's everything I see right now. So I hope you faded as well today. I hope you recognized bad conditions and didn't act on it. Yeah, that's what I mean by stay safe and trade well. So I hope you guys have taken something from the video. I think that should have delivered some pretty knowledgeable things. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace.